anaitangwa Trizah ya All Smiles mtu wangu hapa. Unajua jana tulicelebrate IWD. Unajua kuna mrembo alibonga. Huyu ni mrembo ambaye ana represent journalists especially ambao ni wa kike ama ukipenda wanahabari ambao ni wa kike kwa industry yetu. Na akabonga akasema anasikitishwa sana. Manake kuna wengi ambao ni akina dada mtu wangu hapa ambao ni waandishi na wanahabari kwa jumla
ambao wanapitia
masaibu
ya gusa ni kugusa.
Hiyo design mtu wangu wa power. Unagieta. Na akabonga akasema tuna patience. Nyange. Anasema sexual harassments normalized in newsrooms mtu wangu wa power. Akasema the Kenyan media has not created safe spaces for women working within the newsroom. Huyu ni ambaye ni executive director wa Association of Media Women in Kenya kwenda amwiki mtu wangu wa power. Na Nyange akasema the sexual harassment that has been normalized in newsrooms mtu wangu wa power over the years yani imefanya warembo hawana usemi and there are no proper mechanisms to deal with the vice or to hold perpetrators liable. Some women may fail to report the cases because they are not sure of how to go about it. I asked women who have stayed in the newsroom for 30 to 40 years whether anyone reports cases of sexual harassment and whether people have been convicted. They say that they do not report but negotiate it out. There is a need for us to prosecute that and create a more conducive environment for women to thrive within the newsroom. Anataka kuzungumzia mambo ya sexual abuse ama harassment yani. First of all, hebu define kwanza.
Sexual abuse
at work.
At work can be at work or out there.
Tutaanza at work.
Yes.
In the spirit of IWD.
Okay.
Sana tutafocus on ladies.
Bado wikini yao.
Juu jana Trizah angeza come. Juu ilikuwa uradire. So tumeipush forward to today.
Yes.
Mtu wangu hapo afanye ladies yani unaona hii theme ilikuwa inasema yani kutumia digital spaces ku make sure kuna equality. Na equality vile nimesoma ile intro ule mrembo wa women journalists yani alisema hakuna hiyo platform ya kuaddress ya victims kuaddress issues especially when it comes to sexual harassment.
Sababu ya victimization.
Unagia is your design na tulikuwa tunaambiwa inafaa ikuwe hata kama ni workspaces ikuwe equal for prosperity ya kila msee ku avoid stigmatization, victimization na vitu kama hizo. So unaweza kaanza to first of all ku define sexual abuse ama harassment in a namna gani?
Wow. Sexual abuse is any sexual behavior without consent. And please note, sexual behavior without consent. This goes into touching.
Where?
Yes.
Oh,
inappropriate touching.
Yes.
Sexual touching. At times could also be emotional.
Emotional?
Yes.
Emotional.
Still sexual abuse.
Like
seductive things, nature.
Na compliments like you
see, there is the positive compliments and seductive compliments, yes. Without consent.
Consent ni so, the other party kukubali.
Exactly.
Ruhusa.
Yes.
Lakini sasa atakubaliaje kama hujajaribu? Ujue kama amekata.
Kama kuiva.
Unajua.
You see?
So forceful. To say it's a forceful approach.
Forceful, exactly. A forceful approach and not forgetting unlawful approaches.
Unlawful.
Yes.
Ati mimi kama ni cheze tikitaka na mimi ndakuchezea tikitaka in terms of
job wise.
Still unlawful. Yes.
So umesema kuna emotional,
kuna physical,
yes.
Financial iko.
Financial not unless you are
Najua una fair we shika hii thao. Alafu when you get home
with intention of having sexual benefits, yes, it's still an abuse.
Where?
Yes.
Na gold diggers. Sasa hadi wazee wanakutoanisha
cha lazima.
Na mimi sasa ndio ndume. Does it apply to ladies only?
No. applies to all.
Sunday.
Yes,
now
to all.
continue.
Where?
Yes,
I was coming to that.
So pia if we analyze critically under the microscope ya tulibonga ube mzee anaitwa Ernst, tunaweza pata pia hii story ya gold digging, wase wenye waga wana approach wase kuwatoanisha akikuonesha pati ya juu ya mguu.
Yes.
It can qualify.
Yes.
Critically, arguably so.
It does, yes.
All right.
Yeah, it does. So it's against the will of the other person. And so we are left with two parties. The first one being the perpetrator.
And the second one being the victim.
The victim.
Okay.
Yes.
How rampant is sexual abuse, especially in workspaces?
In workspaces, it's there. Only that in most cases, and would say 90%, people have decided to keep quiet.
It's unreported.
Exactly. Purely unreported. Only for the few courageous cases that we get to know about.
You being a life coach and a therapist, people who've come to you
Yes.
are victims, I presume.
Many.
What's normally their story? They come to you saying, is it junior staff who actually approach them in a way they don't approve of, or is it majority being senior staff who actually fall under the category of perpetrators?
Okay, even before I get to that, there is something I want to talk about sexual abuse, something we call power.
Power.
Yes. In most cases,
Yeah.
the perpetrator abuses, the power they have over the victim. The power they have. So you find that in most sexual cases, one of the things that people lose before we even go to say they've been abused sexually, it's power.
Power.
Yes. So 90% of the cases comes from power going onwards. Downwards. Yes, because it's a sense of power. Hence, one is unable to say no because they know this power comes with much more. It can also come with my termination. When we are talking of sex at workplace and sex abuse at workplace. Yes.
Power.
Power. Is very, very important.
So does that mean that most of the perpetrators are those who hold the so-called power?
Yes. Psychologically, we say it's a pathological. Anything to do with sex will always come, the overpowered someone. You are overpowered. It's a kid who was raped by maybe one who is bigger or older than them. So it's all about being of a less power person to your perpetrator.
And this could come from the sense of the people we're talking about, like positions at workplace. It could be physique.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be intellectual ability.
They could even be your juniors, but they know something.
They're intellectually powerful than you.
In a way, maybe there is a day you said you are away on sick off and they realize or they found out you are actually away because you just wanted to have a day of rest. They can just use that little power over you.
Who hurt the most? Who are the victims? Ni wanaume ama ni akina dada?
50-50.
I'll agree with you.
Yes.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Only that we are coming from a society where for men, we are told you should keep quiet.
I know, men sometimes when you are harassed, you are happy.
Ama for men,
It does not count.
unajibamba unasema mdozi yako ina.
Mimi sitaki lakini kama umeinsist.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
Umenokiwa na mdosi. Na unataka kujivunia kuwa Mkenya.
Igunza siwezi kuliko.
La nayo mbaya. Na unaacha kumbukumbu. Unaongezewa madaraka mbaya bana.
Unaingia pale saa 4.
Kuna bazenga anaweza kabila ati huyu mreshi ni kama kuna bazenga anaweza sema no.
Okay, iko kama mimic sana.
Yes.
I can't agree.
Okay,
I can insist well.
So those who come to you especially men, and say that I actually feel that I'm being sexually abused by, let me say, my superiors. Is it because they don't want to get involved in that act per se?
Yes, it's against their will.
Or is it that the repercussions or the aftermath of those actions actually appear to be costing them?
It's everything involved. Remember, when we talk about sexual abuse, we are talking about being denied that power of saying no. You're not assertive enough, or you are not given that opportunity to say no. So it's done against your will. So number one, you've lost yourself in it. Of course, it comes with some physical harm, and that's why we keep on telling, especially victims of rape and all, before you even take shower, ensure you report. Medical attention comes first. This is one case we say, do not even go for shower, go straight to the hospital. Exactly, go straight to the hospital. So there is the physical part of it, and now the emotional part of it. So for us as psychologists, most people who come, they come because of the emotional part of it. And you realize people are coming even years later, but this is something they are unable to do away with. Flashbacks, like they can't even relate. Anytime they see someone, like maybe the perpetrator came in with a blue towel, anytime they see anything blue, it takes them back. It's a trigger.
Where?
Perpetrator told them, it's okay, we can go have coffee. This person can't even afford to have coffee. No. Yes, triggers. Exactly.
Plantation.
Yes. Anxiety, depression, insomnia for some people, also feeling of sadness. Remember we talked about power, so there is that feeling of worthlessness. Like anytime you think about yourself, someone took advantage of you, someone
that's because I'm a junior.
Because I'm a junior. Because I needed that promotion. Yet I was fully qualified. You can imagine what that comes with.
No, unongenya.
Karumaida.
Ongenya ndingiri yamwe.
Na sinajua mimi ndio niko na sahihi ya mwisho.
Na I think ladies ndio wako, mimi naweza sema hata ile 50-50 tuseme tu ni
wewe ushaenda kwa hizo job za sales unapata bazenga hapo.
Anaambia ndio hiyo offer.
Sasa mreshi ndio anafaa kupeana approval. Na anaona kijana handsome. Sema maga unaingia.
Don't think about it, come on man.
On man. Unakuja man unapata amepiga luku. Na anakuweka position, anatoa viti hiyo side nyingine anaweka hii side nyingine.
Unasikia ananiambia secretary I'm not around.
Hiyo design. We pia mabazenga wanaambia when we come back you will delve deeper into that, like after someone has been sexually abused, the effects or harassed, the effects that come with that, the impact, the end result, and again, including children that are brought forth unwillingly, because inapenda unapata limba zimemuoka, unapata diseases zimemuoka hapo. But then again, of importance is to actually recognize or identify attempts za sexual abuse. Na cheki wase wengi wanafikirianga Jumini junior na bazenga ameninoki, mimi attractive or something. And then most of them, because of desperation, una realize akiitwa kwa office na bazu ama na mresha ambaye ni boss, they feel like they're getting it. They're seeing something amazing ndani yangu. So how do you identify genuine actually recognition of your abilities at the workplace compared to when someone is actually inviting you over because they want to pounce on you in not so long a time?
How do you know if it's genuine?
Tunakuulizaje, unatofautishaje ma colleagues, most of whom umesema ni watu wako na power. Kama wako na power inamaanisha sana sana wanakuwa juu yako as a staff. Unatofautishaje when they approach you and genuinely they do appreciate your job, so wanaku engage based on your ability ya kuperform kulingana ikilinganishwa na wale ambao wanataka kukani kama wanapendezwa, kumbe wamependezwa kimapenzi na wewe mwenyewe hayuko either. Wana ku approach because they wanna actually take advantage of you sexually.
Well, yes, that's a deep one, and most people, they fall a victim because they are unable to differentiate.
They are unable
to differentiate.
Kutofautisha.
Yes.
Yani ananitaka ama anitaki.
Au sio?
Hence we say it's all about being aware.
Being aware.
First of your own emotions. Get to know how are you feeling about it.
Self-awareness.
Yes, self-awareness.
So if you are liking the vibe, that's not abuse.
That's not abuse. That's not abuse. However, just get to know some people.
Unajua kuna mabosi wanakuanga mabosi lakini frame imekubali, wamevinyandenga, wameenda gym, wako physically vital. Mtu wangu wa power wakiku approach pia unasema anyway,
you get over.
Una get.
You see, it's all about having a healthy relationship.
Yes.
And getting to gauge what's the goal of this relationship that we're having. So is it a relationship that will lead to marriage? So in the first place, is my boss, my junior, or whoever it is, are they married?
Yeah.
Do they want to be in a polygamous, setup?
Yeah.
So it's not just about saying
he likes me.
Exactly. Get to know the goal, because if our relationship is all about us being colleagues, what is this liking about me that is so personal, that has nothing to do with the work?
Yeah.
So even you, as you are getting into it, get to know or get to define what exactly it is. So that's something that people really need to get to know. If it's about genuine, get to share how you feel about this person, communication and effective communication.
Also find a background check.
Exactly.
Sio tu anakuambia ameambia wangapi.
That's the thing. And how many are you at workplace?
And why me?
Why me?
Yeah, sure.
Let them, if it's because again, we can't rule out that some people, they meet at workplace and they make good couples, families, they marry. Oh, wow, you see? You should be the best person. You should be the best person to tell us how you differentiated that these are genuine love. Now, you see, and you both had vibe.
Yeah, sure.
And you identify the goals.
So unasema harassment is when
one person is not willing. You see, when you are not willing and you are being compelled into wanting or into giving the sexual advances. So that is harassment, where something else is put, it's being attached to something else. Like during appraisal, I'll score you low because you're not agreeing to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We've heard of cases even in universities and colleges where for you to score this much exactly.
Yes,
so any sexual advances, that's not love. There is no consent. It's more of transactional.
What if both amekuwa praise genuinely and then wamekuwa reward?
Then you are abusing your boss. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? In this case, you become the perpetrator and he's the victim.
I abused my ID. Unajua ukiwa huko ukiongea na simu pale.
Yes.
Nimemwambia I'm a victim
because
my wife was my colleague. So I think I thanked the boss.
So when actually someone decides to, let's say, extend sexual favors after an act that was genuine, like I'm your boss, Trizah, and I think you've done well. And then I come and tell you, henceforth you will be, let's say, head of a certain department in our organization because on merit you do qualify for that and you've actually performed well. And then where Mimi is the boss, when I'm your boss, thanks a lot for the gesture that you extended towards my direction.
Can we have a coffee?
Yes. And then during the coffee, you decide, okay, coffee doesn't make sense.
Extended version.
Can we do Jaeger? And then Jaeger turns into something else, and then you end up together. You design. So how what's that?
That's sexual abuse. That starts.
So it's the
with
boss who's
emotional part of it.
the boss is being abused.
Exactly, it is. You
And
see,
if he doesn't
at times it goes either way. That's something you also need to know. At times it goes either way.
Sometimes the powerless actually.
You see, we've talked about power.
Yes.
So it's all about the power. What is this something that your junior has
Beauty power,
that still could
sex
be
appeal
it?
power.
Could be it. Seduction could
Power.
be it. Yes, power.
Weni bazenga ndio uko na power ya mamlaka, lakini mtoto wako hapo hivi ako na power ya mwili.
Exactly. So I'll use my
Kila mtu ako na
physics,
strength yake.
my
Yes.
looks, my dressing. You know, I will use anything within me that I feel is making me more powerful.
Yeah.
But get to know these people, they get to feed something, some inadequacy in them.
My look.
And that's why, because maybe I'm not capable, I'll use my looks to satisfy this. There is a miss.
So what if at first you're very genuine and you're not bothered, then every now and then this colleague of yours, this junior staff of yours, or this boss of yours, anakuja dressed in a certain way, anakuseduce, and then we get box. At first uko unamjua, hata uko na uko ithaya.
And with time ilikuja.
With time ukaona akakari
Akatigona.
si kabaya venye nilikuwa nafikiria kanaweza. So when it happens and then you get attracted, and then whenever they propose something you actually find yourself agreeing to the same, can it still be deemed as abuse?
We've talked about healthy relationships. So get to define the relationship that you have with this person. We've also talked about some people, they meet their wives and their husbands at workplace. Yeah.
Kama
So,
Bensu.
Sinaona, he's here with us.
I'm a living testimony.
Nani alianza?
I was harassed.
So ni mama alianza.
Okay, tulianza.
Aje.
Ndio hiyo unasikia ya kuvaa.
Mwadi alikuwa angalia mwanya ya use.
Hii mwanya hii.
Ile limaliza mbaya.
Inavaa kifuniko ya speed.
So we need to have the ability
Yes.
to differentiate.
To differentiate and to be able to define. So if it's about a health relationship, it's okay. We can have loved relationship or intimate relationship.
Even at workplaces.
Exactly, but get to know, is the person what you're looking for? Or are you just there because, you know, purpose has made you be together during working hours?
Yeah. And sometimes stop and go.
Now that's unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, that's
But it might not necessarily be abusive.
Exactly. If there is consent by both parties,
It's
it's
fine.
not abuse.
Okay. Then impact, effect, aftermath. Especially when people are coerced. What's the other word you asked me yesterday, the meaning?
aggravated.
You normally think of what you say when you just said things.
Oh, I think.
When the control of budget was actually coerced into releasing 15 billion as per news outlets, there is a word you asked me what we want.
Oh, she was under duress.
Duress.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So how about we want to see, like, you talk to us about the victims and what is left of them after they were coerced or they were put under duress to actually indulge, sexually speaking, in activities that they aren't willing. Okay? And what is left of them and what happens even into the future, and the impact that such kind of actions actually have in their future relationships. When we come back.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
They feel lonely, empty.
Victims. After they realize actually
Yes.
I was subjected to an act that I did not consent
Exactly.
to.
And even as we go on, it's good to say if this act was in form of rape, it's a criminal offense.
It is a criminal offense.
Yes.
Chargeable.
Chargeable by law, and there is no any other way to explain it. At the time we get people saying, oh, maybe they had some mental issues and all that. No. Nothing justifiable to commit rape. So So that's something that we need to put straight.
Ubakaji.
That's criminal offense.
It's a criminal thing.
Yes, it is. So now, that is on the side of the perpetrator. Now, when it comes to the victim,
Yes.
they are left feeling so lonely, empty, insomnia. We have flashback.
They can't sleep.
Yes, depression. If you are talking about kids, remember now this even gets more worse because they've been made go through something. Now we have the impact of childhood traumas,
which affects them even in their adult age.
It comes to manifest way later in very different ways. First, there is the lack of trust. You find that someone, because they were subjected to this, to rape, and this can happen either way, not necessarily if you are a kid, even for grown-up. You are unable to trust people going forward.
Yaani unaona mabazenga tu hivi, male species wanakutoa timing.
Or female.
Hata female.
Exactly.
Na kama wewe ni bazenga na ulilazimishwa.
Or even the other way, nowadays you can be sure of anything.
Gender.
Yeah, we can have a female raping a female. So yeah, these things, they are happening.
Rainbow. Hata wase wa rainbow.
I'm not talking about them. I'm actually saying there is a possibility of a male raping a male or sexually abusing. Yes, so abuse can be either way.
Mungo ladies unapiga kukuta mbaya sana.
Wewe.
Na mrembo mwenzako.
Unamejua tabia baada zina.
Yeah, and also this needs also to go to parents out there. We should be very careful of the people we keep in our houses.
That's true.
In the name of relatives, cousins, even nannies. Yes.
Kwa Mombasa niliona ndume huko imejipakanisha alafu amepewa job ya house.
Hata mimi ngoja nitawaambia story ya mbojo wetu.
Siku hizi mimi hata usiku hata mama ninaona akasirika naenda kuanivaa mkaa mboji ni. All right, back to kuwa careful.
Yes, we should be very careful because in most cases, and especially cases brought to therapy, of people who are subjected to sexual abuse when they were kids, they were done by people
a good example
well known to them.
Of
abuse.
Have I ever been abused sexually?
You told me.
Hii sura yangu na kama mtu anaweza kani abuse sexually.
Ukiwa mdogo.
Na
house.
Lakini kuna story ya house one day I'll tell you.
Most people are in denial.
Mimi ni nani? Unless when acting is as a result.
Childhood trauma.
That's why I need to come to your therapy sessions when
you need to.
When acting is if is as a result.
We need to really uncover that and get to know if you are able to process.
You according to you don't have a problem.
But I'm the one who
No. Hakuna unasikia hakuna kinyozi ujinyoa.
All right. So ninyolewa.
Exactly.
Changu nimetia maji.
Yes. So to parents, most of the kids, and now they come when they are grown-ups, but when they were first introduced to sexual activities, these things were done by their cousins when they went visiting. You know, the thing, we take our kids to Shago or to relatives and we leave them there. At times they are all kids, both the perpetrators and the victims. But they'll be able to explain. My cousins, they did ABCD and this is how it all happened. So when left unprocessed, it now becomes a trauma. It manifests even when they grow up.
Even in their marriages, in their
relationships. So you find for some people, they are never satisfied.
Yeah.
Because to them, they were introduced to a different meaning of sex.
So you realize that you can be subjected into that thing where you're pretty young, such that the end result will be like you will never be satisfied sexually.
Exactly, because when it was first introduced to you, it was introduced in a very painful way. And painful, not just the physical pain, could be also the emotional pain. And so for you, when you think or you see sex, what comes to mind is that pain bonding. So when now you are married, definitely there is no pain, there is no trauma. you are not okay with your man.
So
you're
you
not
want
okay with
that which will bring pain to you.
Yes, we say most victims of rape, there is a likelihood of them again being raped again if left unprocessed. If left unprocessed. The same goes, victims of rape, they can end up becoming perpetrators.
Okay, wait. Victims of rape can end up being raped again. And
raped again, or also being rapists. They can also become rapists.
Let's deal with the former.
Yes.
Being victims again.
Yes.
The reason behind that is what?
Because now the bond becomes that of pain bonding. So they will relate well with someone, with their abuser, more than someone who is here. Maybe I'm married, my husband is there, definitely there is no abuse, but I'm still not getting satisfied because my relationship, or when it comes to sex, is something very different. But
past experience.
So unknowingly they might present themselves to perpetrators.
Unconsciously. Yes.
Or on the other side, the latter, you said that they might end up actually being perpetrators.
Yes.
Picking up.
Because there is also pain inflicted on the other person. So you're also stealing from them what was stolen from you.
Is it being vengeful? Is it?
Not really. That's why I have said when left unprocessed. You see, these are things that happen unconsciously.
Yeah.
It's just like when, allow me to go back to some of the, nowadays, when we talk of HIV as a condition.
Yeah.
But before, we used to have people coming up with lists.
Yeah.
Oh, I was infected and so I'm going to infect and this is the list and all that. You know, I remember back when I was in high school.
Yeah, there was a girl in
they'll
campus.
do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
Yes, so the same happens when one is subjected to sexual activities and as a way of abuse. So we also need to be very careful, to be very, very protective of our kids. Don't just say it's okay, they're with their auntie, they're with their uncles and all that. Know about their whereabouts.
Ask
and
questions.
what exactly they're doing. And introduce, have something we call effective communication with your kids. Let them have an open one. Let them be able to come and tell you, so and so was kissing me. Alinishika hapa, akanishika hapa. But you see, they won't come and tell you if you do not have such conversations with them.
Yeah.
Start introducing those conversations early enough. And tell them, you know, at time, I think it's how we were brought up. We can't talk about this part. No, it's taboo. You know? But now times have changed. We are in a very different era. Talk to them raw as it is.
Yes.
To your kids, let them not be introduced through TikTok and all that, because if you don't, others will.
All right. When we come back after the music break, we will be looking at how to go about it. Maybe you've been subjected to this kind of abuse and you've never healed, you've never tackled it, and now you want to deal with it because maybe it's having an impact on your current relationships and everything of that. So how'd you go about it very briefly after the music break? Once lined up, how'd you go about? We have like 3 minutes. How'd you go about healing?
First, know that it's not your fault. You never did anything to justify what happened.
Yeah.
Most cases, people are very, very judgmental, and that's why victims, they tend to keep quiet.
Yeah.
So be able to speak freely. Identify a support system where you are able to go and share. It's all about you going through what happened so that you are able to process. Get to identify and to be more self-aware on anything that happens within you that is so unusual, especially your sexual trends. If you're so much into hypersexuality or maybe so much into not wanting it, it can be either way.
Yeah.
When you want it, you are hyper, and when you feel
active sana, you know, go inactive.
It's not about active. Active is a different one.
It's
hyper is like
hypersexuality is different from being sexually active.
Yeah, that is.
Stop thinking.
Hyper is you can sleep with anyone, with anything, with objects, with
for no
young,
reason.
old, for no reason, because you can never get satisfied. So that's a dysfunctional. And when you do not have any sexual instincts at all, still a dysfunction. So first of all, medical attention is very, very needed. Also come for therapy. We are here as All Smiles to ensure that we walk the journey with you, because there is much more. Also for people who are taking care of people who have gone through rape, encourage them, believe them, because you know the art of doubting. Are you sure?
Na maafande, mtu akikuja kuripoti kesi.
Yes. Be very, very careful.
Sindio? Waanza kucheka.
That's judging. You shouldn't be judgmental. You should just be there to listen.
If someone comes and says I've been sexually abused, accord them the help they need, right?
Exactly. First believe them, then accord them the help they need.
All Smiles wanapatikana wapi?
All Smiles, you can get us in all the social media platforms as All Smiles Therapy Center. We are out there, IG, YouTube, Facebook, all over. You can also call us on 0793 561 669, and we are based in Westlands. We are reachable
0793
561 669.
is your design.
Yes.
Kabisa watu wangu wa power.
All Smiles Therapy Center.
Yes.
_KE
is your design.
Amazing, sir.